everyone, welcome to this PD session. So this PD session is going to be the good, the not so bad, and the ugly. And we're going to be covering the quality criteria checklist, and we're going to be focusing on course overview, as well as navigation and organization today. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Allison Loach, and I'm an instructional designer in the Teaching and Learning Innovation Hub. I can assist with things like course design, creating interactive pieces for your classroom, just helping create pieces and brainstorming, engaging pieces for your students. And I'll let Cynthia introduce herself.
Good day to you. Thank you for joining us. I am the educational developer here in the Hub. And when you come to me, usually you're coming to me for anything related to curriculum. So your course outlines, if you need to do some mapping, if you want to look at your assessments, building some rubrics, coming up with new ideas for class content, whether that be something that you haven't done before and you'd like to try it, if you have ideas on what we could be doing in the Hub for professional development. So think about anything that you do in your class that you might need some help with. If I can't help you, then I will definitely point you in the direction of people like Allison and other members in our Hub. Together, we can help you expand what you're offering our students.
Awesome. Thanks, Cynthia. All right, so let's get into it. So first, we're going to start with a check-in, and I'll let Cynthia lead our check-in today.
As it says, howdy all. We like to do a check-in, and if we had been in person, we would have been gifted with a little bit of nutritional value by way of a trail mix. So when we look inside our trail mix, there are some options like raisins and peanuts and almonds and cashews, and of course candy coated not Smarties, because this is not Smarties, but those would be your options for how is your day in. So it's always good to kind of think about how's your day going, and today we're doing it, how's your day in a trail mix. So Allison, start us off. How is your day in a trail mix?
So I'm going to say, just from the assortment we have here today, I am feeling like a raisin. Feeling a little dried out. It is Monday when we're recording this, so very tired after a long weekend in the sun. Just gotta, get ready for the week, not be so dried out, so tired. But that's how I'm feeling today.
Thank you. For me personally, I'm feeling like a cashew. Cashews are like one of my favorite nuts. They're a little bit buttery, but they're chocked full of yummy goodness. And I am enjoying the fact that I am down here in the Hub working with people. And so today I've had some opportunities to work with faculty. And so that's why I'm feeling buttery good. Thank you, and hopefully today you're having a good day as well, whatever that nut, raisin, dried up, not dried up, or maybe sweet feeling is happening for you. Let's see what Allison has in store for us.
All right, so today, like we had mentioned, so we're focusing off of our quality criteria checklist for digital and online learning that the Hub team created. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the quality criteria yet, you'll be able to use this QR code here, which you can use by using your smartphone, pulling up the camera, focusing on that QR code. It should bring up a link, and it'll bring you right to our website. Or if you want to go ahead and type in this bit.ly link, you can do that as well. And it's going to bring you right to our quality criteria. So if you haven't had a chance yet, for sure check this out. There's also a downloadable copy, which will provide kind of like a checklist that you can either print or use in a Word document to review your courses and see what you're meeting in terms of quality criteria. So you can see here as well, there's a bronze, silver, and gold. So anything bronze is technically required to have in your Moodle courses for online and digital learning. Then you have silver, which is just strongly recommended items. And then we also have gold that is recommended and of course is kind of top tier. You've got everything covered in all of your courses digitally. So today we are focusing mostly on course overview. So you'll see here, these are the course overview pieces that we're going to be touching on today. And then also we're focusing on navigation and organization. So those two really tie together just in terms of how your course looks, feels in terms of navigating for students, the way things are organized, and keeping consistency and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And again, check out that checklist on our website if you had the chance yet.
And one of the great things about that quality criteria checklist from a faculty standpoint is it's a one-stop shop to look at. Just go, yep, my course has this. Yep, my course has this. And you're probably wondering, hey, if I don't teach online, should I be doing this? Absolutely. Even for us as faculty who teach face-to-face, we have a digital presence for our Moodle pages, and we have some minimum requirements. And this just really rounds out the way that we can look at our minimum requirements and what is needed to help us be accessible and also inclusive when we are bringing our content to our students.
Awesome. Good point, Cynthia.
Thanks.
All right. So we'll move on. So we're going to start with kind of a little bit of a reflection. So giddy up to the quality criteria rating scale. So again, use the QR code or type in the bit.ly link. It will bring you to our Moodle shell here. As well, this is where you can also access the PowerPoint that we're using, the presentation that we're using, which is built in H5P course presentation. So if you do go back here, you'll see that in the second section, this is where you can find our presentation, and this is where we're going to jump to right now for this little bit of reflection before we get started into the session. So you can see here, we've got kind of a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not so good, 10 being awesome, fabulous, whatever it may be. So you could see here, just in terms of your course, and maybe Cynthia, you'd like to kind of go through the different scales we have here in
For
terms of
sure.
how they're feeling about their course overview, navigation, organization, all that good stuff.
So for this question, we are only asking you to focus on how well do you think students can navigate your particular course in Moodle? Do you think you have a good course overview? And do you think that it's naturally organized for them to be intuitive? So as Allison put up there, what you saw was if you're thinking 1 to 2, it's that you have a welcome page, you have some contact information, a little bit about you. But after that, the semester gets busy and you forget to add things other than your assignments. And maybe that's your reality. You know what, you're new to teaching and this is something that you are exploring and expanding. That might be your starting point. Maybe you're in that 3 to 5 range coming into this particular session, and you keep links, readings, recordings, and assignments in Moodle so that I can grade them easily and students can receive feedback. So beyond just that welcoming message, you've got your assignments in there, all your rubrics in there. Each has its own section for a total of 4 sections, kind of linked as class links and recordings, readings and assignments, and the rest is done in class with the students. So you at least have a place for them to go to learn about some of the resources, but at the same time get evaluated. Perhaps you're beyond the 6, the 3, 4, 5, and you're into the 6, 7, 8, and you feel that when you look at your Moodle page, it's solid, right? It's got the basics of who you are, what they can expect of you, what they can expect of the course, how they're graded. It links to not only class recordings, you have each section with a new topic, and you introduce those sections with some subheadings. So when students go there, if for whatever reason they might miss class, they know what's happening. But perhaps you're cowboy level. And that's what we're going to look at over here at 910. And when we're at cowboy level, you're rocking this organizational skill stuff in Moodle, and everything is naturally intuitive. Students could ride off into the sunset without you even being present, and you know that they could comprehensively navigate through. They have no difficulties. They can easily find their virtual classes and recordings, how they're assessed, where their readings are, when things are due, along with activities. So you are, as I said, letting the students ride off into the sunset. So where do you think you are on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you just getting your feet wet, figuring out how to get those chaps on, or are you full scale cowboy?
Awesome. Yeah, so we welcome you all to reflect a little bit on just what your courses are looking like right now in terms of our quality criteria. So jumping back here to our presentation.
And
Sorry,
just
go
to
ahead.
share for a quick minute, Allison, if I were to
Yeah.
reflect, I don't think I'm full scale cowboy, even though I've been here for about 17 years. So just to give some thoughts to people who are new, as well as people who have been around, we don't all teach through Moodle online digitally. We're all a work in progress, or at least I believe I'm in a work in progress. So I would probably rate myself between that 6 to 8, but definitely not cowboy level.
Yeah, and that's fair, right? It may be your first rodeo, it may not be. You can totally be not full cowboy. You can definitely build up to that. And again, you're always learning, right? So definitely something to keep in mind too when you're reflecting. Don't be so hard on yourself if you're not, a rodeo star. That's totally okay. So moving on, we're just going to review. So as you can see here, we have 3 QR codes. So these 3 are essentially 3 different Moodle shells we have set up that you are able to access as well if you're going to access through using the QR code, bit.ly link, or later on if you're accessing our presentation. You can check out these self-enrolled courses. They're just test courses just for our presentation for today. So you can go in, kind of dig around, see what's included, what's not included, and that's what we're going to do today as well. So Cynthia's going to be our spectator, and she's going to let us know her thoughts. So essentially, we're going to have a good, a not so bad, and an ugly course. So we'll see if we can define which ones are which. So I'll start with the first course. So we'll have a look. And you can see here, so here's our Moodle course.
All
Again,
right.
so let us know your thoughts. We'll just take a quick overview. I'll open up some of these sections here. So just looking at this, Cynthia, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I think it's great that Bernie's going to be teaching me. That's my first thought.
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't really know that much about Bernie. So if I wasn't around here at the college, I might not know who Bernie is. I do happen to know that Bernie happens to be our mascot, but maybe not everybody would know that. So I think Bernie's missing a little bit of description of who Bernie is, even just to say, hey, I'm the mascot. So that kind of stands out for me as one of the critical things that we were highlighting in terms of the course overview, that welcome message and contact information. So I know how to get a hold of Bernie, which is great. If you scroll down a little bit more and I think about course stuff, that doesn't seem like a lot for a 14-week course. So maybe there's more weeks below. Maybe that's a nice little focus on, clearly we're going to be thinking about music and deep focus and critical thinking and skull anatomy. This could be interesting. I'm a little perplexed or confused by if week 1 is before or after September the 11th and 15th, because there's sort of an inconsistency on how things are labeled. So I think that doesn't stand the gold, definitely not gold, but even bronze level, because it's went week 1, then it went, September 11th to the 15th, and then week 3 to anatomy. Yeah, that's not really working for me as a student because I don't know what week is which at this point. I can see I have some assignments in here, which is good. I've got some H5P quizzes, which is kind of cool. And I can kind of look around in those, and I have a Zoom link to be able to join the class. As a student, I think I would want the Zoom link at the top, just that would be more intuitive, because then I would actually join the class right away, because I might not look at everything right away. So I would say that if I'm looking at all of the things, the delivery method, I don't know if this is a hybrid or flex. Can I come to class sometimes or not at all? Or is this strictly an online class? I'm just not sure. I do see some chat opportunities, which is great. So I don't think it actually meets even some of the basic levels of bronze. And if I go back to that idea of navigating through the course logically, yeah, it's not hitting those steps either. I'm going to go with this is the ugly.
Yeah, and I would say that is correct, Cynthia. So I'm just thinking too, we have these great opportunities that obviously we could see in the course, but again, not much of a description, not really navigation on what I should do first. There's all these things at the top. Do I go, in order? Should I jump around? Can I jump around? Totally something I think that could be provided in this course just to let students know how to navigate it and be successful, right? As well as Bernie, I'm glad he included a photo of himself, but again, there's lacking that information. Maybe some students would be more comfortable, talking over the phone or having office hours. I think that's something that he could include as well, and would be kind of like a bronze requirement as well, just in terms of students having all the stuff they need to be successful in a course as well. So yes, just overlooking this, this is definitely the ugly course. Um, so that was that one. So we'll go back here and now we'll take a look at course 2. So again, we can do kind of like a quick overview first and just get our thoughts gathered. So just looking at it, this has a bit more than the one we just looked at.
See, Bernie's going to teach this one too.
Yeah, Bernie's got a lot of courses. Busy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of good stuff in here.
All right. So as I look through this,
Mm-hmm.
let me, can you go back up to that? So I think Bernie had a welcome message this time. I'm not positive, but possibly. I think there's a clear layout of when assessments are, which I think is really good. Got some great information about how to get online and do some stuff. Look at that. Bernie is a faculty as well as a coordinator. See, now I know that much more about Bernie. Bernie's like perfect. Maybe not that much about Bernie, but a little bit about Bernie. So that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I have Bernie's email. Oh, I see that this class is sometimes in person and sometimes virtually. So now I have a little bit of information about when I might be as a student coming to class. So the delivery methods, maybe not explained, but I at least have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Expectations. I did see a professional conduct section, and I did see that there's going to be a Zoom link. So those things were there. If I navigate through, one of the things that was easier when you were showing it, I could see that there was, first we're going to have professional conduct, then we're going to have awareness and fundraising initiatives, whatever those are. And then we have some assessments at a glance. So a student would know all their assessments, and then they're moving into, days. And I think there was consistency on those. So there was a date and then a name of the class. So I think that that was a huge strength. I also see some little icons like pre-reading, assignment details, so that people could every week see that there was probably some consistency in that. So I did see that. And I think the strength to this particular one is there is consistency in the way things are laid out. So a student can get into a rhythm of what to expect, and they know where all their assessments are. I don't see anything about lecture recordings or whether or not they're recorded. So maybe that's something this person could expand on. Bernie's levels are definitely expanding. That's a good thing. So yeah, there's some strengths. I don't think it's the good. It's probably the not so bad or the not so good.
Absolutely. So we could tell that Bernie, is putting a bit more effort into this course, which is great. Like you mentioned, Cynthia, I like how there's, clear and concise titles in the sections. These fun icons and subheadings are super great to help students stay organized and kind of follow along what they need to do for what. And I'm assuming this would be consistent throughout the whole course, which is really great. Something that I'm also noticing that may be missing is kind of an opportunity for students to share feedback on the course, things that worked well, things that maybe aren't working well, or if they found a broken link. I think giving students the opportunity to kind of give that feedback as well would be definitely a good piece to provide within the course. But overall, this one is not so bad. Also, just in terms of keeping your Moodle course kind of clean, kind of marking off these marked as done things that don't really require to be marked done. That's definitely something we could just, add to just clean it up a bit and make it a little bit less confusing as well. But
The other
overall,
thing
not
that
bad.
I noticed that was missing as you were talking, Allison, is
Mhm.
there's not really a welcome activity for students. Like, yes, there's a little welcome from Bernie, but one of the gold or silver level standards is maybe an opportunity for students to introduce themselves through the Moodle page to one another, especially if it's a class that's completely asynchronous or if it's hybrid.
For sure. Definitely something to think about, just so the students can have that connection, right?
That's right. So if we've gotten through the ugly and the not so bad, I'm guessing we're going to get to the good.
Yeah, so let's check this one out. So this is course number 3. And again, we'll take a quick glance at it and then kind of share our thoughts. Bernie again, and another course in the works.
Bernie has really upped their game because now we have a getting started section, and that getting started section looked pretty cool.
Yeah, he's definitely improved, putting a lot of effort in, and definitely shows that he cares about his students that are going to be online in this course.
I see some videos, I see some images. Definitely Bernie has upgraded their skills.
Yes, way to go, Bernie.
Woohoo! I think Bernie's been spending time in the hub.
Definitely taking our advice. All right, so is there anything, Cynthia, that you think stands out really well in this course?
I think one of the things, if we look at, especially from the last course, is that getting started section. So great, we have a little bit more about the professor, and I think the course information separate is also another strength of this particular course. It's easy for a student not have to scroll through that whole description, but that information is still there, and the getting started, I think, is a great recommendation, whether it's an asynchronous or a synchronous delivery, virtually or in person, face to face. Letting a student know where to begin is always a strength, because like you said in the very first example, sometimes students don't know where to go or how to navigate.
Absolutely, and I'm seeing here that there's a please introduce yourself discussion forum, so that's great. Students can introduce themselves, share a little bit about themselves, and they can learn about their classmates that are also taking this course and maybe find a friend or two, which is super cool.
And so Bernie's getting closer and closer to cowboy status. Probably later on in the course, there might have been an opportunity for feedback. I know that we're only looking at the front end of Bernie's course.
Absolutely, and going into the sections, so great titles, everything is consistent, nothing is changing, super easy to follow along. Again, good subheadings as long as well with icons, which are super fun, just a nice touch as well. Great
There's
use of
videos.
images, videos. Yeah, it's really, really interactive and engaging, which is nice, right? You always have something new to look at in each week, which is super cool.
And another strength of this particular one, and maybe this is Bernie's asynchronous level, but there's objectives at the beginning of each of the courses. So a student and a learner can figure out, okay, this section I'm going to be focused on these 3 objectives, and away I go.
Absolutely.
Hats off to you, Bernie. You've brought your A game.
You did, and it looks great. Even with the header image, it's just a nice welcome, I think, for students to have once they're entering your course online, as well as having a bit more contact information, a bit more of a welcome, which is super more personable, right? So the students can feel like they know Bernie and they feel comfortable, taking his class, asking questions, that kind of thing too.
Yep, for sure.
Awesome. All right, so we've taken a look at our 3 courses. I would think it's very clear to see, the ugly versus the very good. Not so bad. Again, it's in the middle. It's got a lot of things that do check off the quality criteria, but again, some things that could just be added on to just hit those required pieces or go above and beyond. So moving along, if you do want to take more of a look yourself at these courses, you'll see here we've provided, this is the good shell you can have a look at, again, via QR code bit.ly link, as well as the not so bad course if you want to take a deeper dive into that, and as well as the ugly. So those are provided for you in this presentation as well if you want to just have a look at yourself. So moving along, I know we have shown a kind of a good course. So just a little plugin for the hub. We do have a good template. So essentially, we have a Cambrian Moodle template that checks off all of the quality criteria standards. So that means all of the bronze, silver, and gold are in this template itself. So this is something you can check out. You can self-enroll into this Moodle shell, as well as have any pieces implemented into your courses. You can have them copied over by someone in the hub, or if you're comfortable doing it yourself, that's definitely something you can do as well. And I can go through this a bit just to kind of show you what it checks off in terms of our quality criteria. So I'll just go kind of through the course overview. So for the bronze, so it does contain a welcome message, and you'll see here, so everything is a template. So this would be for you to fill out, but essentially it can give you an example of what we would want to see in a course and what you could add. So here you could see you could add a video, you could add an image, you can upload a document, any kind of multimedia to just give that more personable feeling as a welcome message. As well as you'll see here below, you contact me. So having that contact information is definitely crucial for your students that are online. Again, you want them to be able to contact you, maybe know your response times. If you do have office hours, all that kind of stuff is definitely good to include as well. You'll see here students are given the opportunity to introduce themselves, as well as course feedback and suggestions. So at any time, they can submit something that they've noticed or something that they really liked, or at the end, if they just want to give a kudos to the teacher that taught this course, or give them any feedback, that's a way they could share that with the course as well. Getting started, this is definitely a good section to have if you want students to focus on things, particularly before they're getting into your classroom and doing the work. So you could see here, this provides kind of student resources. So giving a nod to the student resources that students might not know that are available to them in the different kind of departments we have at Cambrian. That's definitely something good to mention as well. In terms of other things, policies, navigating Moodle, any technology or software they might require for your course is definitely something you want to mention from the get-go so they know exactly what they need to be successful and thrive in the course. Again, course information, this is where you could provide your course outline and syllabus, any required materials, again, that they would need to use in the course. We have an assessments tab that can provide assessments, clear indication of when things are due, the percentage of them, just giving clear indication. You can see here there's different options that you could also provide in terms of just how to describe things. Instructions, I think, is very crucial to online courses as well, just so students know exactly what they have to do. It alleviates some questions as well, even if it is not fully asynchronous. It gives those students um, that more clear indication.
It also, Allison, adds to the fact that most students start assignments at like 4 hours before it's due, and then they have everything they need and they don't need to send out those panicked emails to faculty.
Definitely. Yeah. Then we can see here, so we have like the different weeks or units. Again, keeping the names consistent is definitely a game changer in terms of just students knowing where they can find the things or what week they're on and all that stuff. So you'll see here we've got kind of a bit of descriptions on what to include. So you can include learning activities, any materials that would be included. So videos, links, articles, anything, PowerPoints that you think the students are going to need for that week. Also providing weekly learning objectives. I think that's really important for students to know what they're going to be learning and what they'll be able to or successfully complete at the end of that week or unit. And you can see here we also have some icons if you choose to use them as subheadings. That's definitely something useful to use as well. And I did kind of scroll past the beginning, but including a course delivery and schedule, just so the students are aware of how the course is going to be delivered, whether it be async, HiFlex, all in person. It's definitely good to note here. And then also providing a Zoom link if your course is online and will be through Zoom. Having that at the top, I think, is crucial so they always know where to go and can attend your class on time. as well as providing course description just so they have an idea of fully what the course is going to be all about. And using Moodle announcement too is kind of a nice little nod. If you're wanting to send a message out to all your students, this is a good way to kind of keep in touch with them or remind them of upcoming tests, assignments, that kind of thing.
And I
Yeah, so
know some faculty not only use the Moodle announcements, they also create like a community discussion forum for general questions. And that way, if students have questions, the faculty can answer so everybody can see it. And it makes it that much easier for students to go back and go, what was the answer to that question again? So I can see how some faculty add that in that section as well.
yeah. Yeah, so definitely check this out. It is opened an open course, self-enroll. If you do have any questions, you can again reach out to myself, Cynthia, or anyone on the Hub team. We're happy to help or kind of go through our template or curate things for you that you're not too sure on how to do or how you want to word things. We're definitely here to help and assist with that as well. All right, so thanks, partner. We hope you learned a thing or two during this session and hopefully gave you a better idea just to compare some different courses. So we've got the good, the not so bad, and the ugly, and hopefully you were able to see the differences and kind of see how a very good quality criteria Moodle shell could definitely help your online students thrive in that digital universe. Um, so Cynthia, I don't know if you had anything else to add.
Oh, I think what's great about it is to be able to see different courses from different people and recognize that one size does not fit all, nor does it have to. You can create your own flavor and still meet those criteria. And that for me is one of the benefits of being able to check out other people's stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right. And again, if you have any questions in terms of this PD session or in anything in general, again, you can reach out to myself, Allison Loach, or Cynthia Booth, or anyone again at the Hub team at our teaching@cambriancollege.ca email, and we're happy to help. All
Sounds
right.
great.
Thanks,
Take care.
everyone.
Thank you for joining us.